Well, last night was a pretty dull episode of Real Housewives of New Jersey. I'm not going to lie. We're going to talk about Real Housewives of New Jersey season 13, episode 6. I'm already binging away. All right, so you know me, you guys, short attention span. So here's what happens on Real Housewives of New Jersey, season 13, episode 6. Then I'm going to share some gossip that caught my attention. There wasn't much this week on New Jersey, just because Vanderpump Rules is so awesome. Everyone's kind of like obsessed with it. By the way, I'm going to drop a thumbnail tomorrow. It's going to have like the reactions to Raquel kissing Oliver on it, but I'm actually going to also talk about other gossip that, after I watch the show tonight. Okay, so I just wanted to say that. So basically, last night's show, I'll tell you what impacted the fans the most, etc., and we'll get into something I caught that I wanted to tell you guys. So Teresa ends up starting off the show, and she goes to see a therapist about her relationship with her brother because Louis Ruelas is mad into therapy, and so he wants her to look into why she behaves the way she behaves in terms of throwing things and being violent, and maybe have some introspection about her brother. And, should she continue to try to make the relationship work because he's her only family? We see that. Then we move on and we see a scene that was really cute between Dolores and her dad. They remind us of how we've seen her dad over the years, looking out for her as a protective parent, which is very Italian. Love it. Loves it. And then he says that he can tell that she really likes Polly, and he agrees with her dad, that this could go the long haul. And Polly's intentions probably are to get married to Dolores, and she should prioritize him over Frank. Now, I want to talk about Frank in a second. I'm annoyed by Frank. I know you guys love Frank, but he annoys me. Anyway, she says, I really like him and I want this to work, and I am going to prioritize Polly over Frank. Sorry. That's what's happening. Dad's like, I agree with you. Good for you. And we wrap that scene. Now, I just want to say, Frank has to be really selfish, you guys. His position on this season of almost trying to block Polly coming in because of the existing family dynamic with his adult, and I put capital ADULT on adult kids, makes no sense, okay? He's a very selfish man, is what this is coming off to me, okay? He was a crappy husband who cheated on Dolores. He lost his legal license from doing an inappropriate thing, which probably put a lot of pressure on Dolores to try to provide for the family along with him in a weird way. He was with his kids, and seemingly his kids love him, but it's definitely not a typical relationship that they have together. And then she meets a doctor guy, David, who mistreats her, and instead of Frank siding with her, he becomes best friends with her boyfriend, who's a jerk, and moves in with him, and almost starts, I feel like, dating him, but without the that aspect of things, the personal aspect, which is terrible, because actually if that guy was not stepping up to the plate and treating Dolores up properly, then Frank should have backed Dolores, not the David. So that was really off-putting. And then he tries to do almost the same thing with Polly, and thank goodness Polly isn't having it. He's like, this is not normal. Polly's like, no, I'm not going to prioritize you, Frank. The ex-husband, who I don't know if did right by Dolores ever, truly, right? Maybe the kids, but not Dolores. And so I am going to just not give you a lot of my time. I don't respect you, maybe, okay? So that's what's maybe going on. And Polly is old school, and he's Irish, and he's traditional. So he's going to be like, I've got Dolores. I'm going to protect her. You weren't that great to her, in my opinion. You were all right. And now I want to step in and help her and have her relax. Now, meanwhile, Polly has a heart issue, which is obviously scaring Dolores. But we find out on the show that Polly's heart issue isn't a problem because 90% success rate, but still scary for Dolores. I mean, as we get older, you guys, not only is it really hard to find good love and men and etc. for women, but you also have other things on your mind, like how long you might have together, because after 50, you're not guaranteed anything. It's not like when you're under 50. You're like, we have forever. You don't. You could have 30 years. You could have 40 years. You could have 10 years. Okay, there's also another moment in this week's episode where Jennifer Aydin takes Bill Aydin in front of a marriage counselor to discuss what's going on, in their relationship, which is definitely having problems and the cracks are showing. Jennifer, essentially just vents to this therapist. Bill is quiet and doesn't say anything. It comes off like Jen isn't really trying to work on the relationship as much as Jen's trying to punish Bill Aydin. And I felt like when I was listening to what she said, Bill Aydin's behavior is he's checked out of the relationship, and my gut is he's having an affair as we speak. This is pure opinion, total speculation, but all the time in the pool house, being alone means he's talking to somebody, and he's always on his phone, and he seems checked out, and he's not making an effort on camera to show that he's checked in, which tells me he doesn't want somebody to see it. Take it from me, I know, because it happened to me. So I'm noticing now that we're at episode 6, Melissa Gorga's involvement in the show and even Joe's is sort of being downplayed. We're kind of seeing their edit be like more, extra characters versus like central characters to the drama. And I do think Bravo's slowly exiting them from the show. Now, Melissa's saying that she thinks that's happening too. So I'm not the only one picking up on that energy. She's watching the edit and she's seeing things that she shot not be in there and stuff. And she's starting to get, that feeling. Anyway, we go to Dolores's baseball game, which, by the way, I have so much respect for her doing every year. It looks like a lot of work. And every time you put your name on something as a celebrity reality star, it's scrutinized. So she probably is scared every year that she won't, top the year before. And so she's like really brave to keep doing this baseball game. And you can tell she really cares about the charity because she's done it not for storyline, because she's done it every year, but she's really like sticking to it. And, unlike other parties that like are all fun, this is a lot of work. They have to play baseball. My hair looks like crap. Okay. They have to play baseball, and that's tough work. And they have to all uncomfortably interact together, even because there's always like a feud happening simultaneously. Anyway, the MVP players seem to have been Danielle Cabral and also Joe Gorga. So they were like the best at the baseball from what I could tell from what they showed in the edit. Yay. All right. Well, at least Joe's good at baseball. Did you guys, what was going around the internet? Remember that time where Joe posted a house flip and then it wasn't really his house that he showed? So he exaggerated his involvement in a flip project. And actually, if you really look at the detail, it looks like he outright lied. But ABC was generous when they did this news thing. I'm going to show you a clip. I just wanted to remind you.
This morning, being accused of faking a before and after photo for his real estate business on social media. Gorga frequently shares photos of home renovation projects with his followers on Instagram, even promoting a real estate seminar. In a now deleted post, Gorga posting this before and after photo of a house he says he flipped, writing, "Look at this flip worth $1.9 million. Took me 6 months to turn this around. Ripped off the roof and added to the second floor. I think I might move in." The only problem, Callie Svensson says the after photo is her house and was never renovated by Gorga.
It was a new construction. The foundation was new. Everything about it was new. It was built from the ground up.
Not only is the after photo not one of Gorga's projects, The house in the before photo still looks just like this. According to Realtor.com, that one last sold just a few months ago. Svensson says she reached out to Gorga via Instagram to ask him to take down the post of his supposed renovation, but he never responded.
We felt like he was using our house to advertise his business and can't be making mistakes like that. You have to make sure that you check your facts and anything you put out there is true.
Now, Gorga eventually deleted that post and he declined to comment. But a source close to the reality star tells ABC News Gorga's social media manager shared it by mistake, and that even though he never spoke to the homeowners directly, he did work with a group of investors to help fund the construction of that home. As for the Svenssons, they say mistakes like that should not happen and he should be more careful in the future.
Yes, Amy Robach, we should all be so much more careful in the future. So the producers focus a little attention on the kids in this episode. We see Jennifer upset because her daughter wants to be, now her little daughter wants to be a love therapist for couples, obviously because her parents' relationship is awful and she keeps trying as a little kid to make it better so her parents won't break up. We see the cousins, Melissa's kids and Teresa's kids, feeling estranged from each other. They're blaming each other's parents, but in the end, let's face it, you know, the cousins need to just do their own thing and not worry about the parents' dynamics. They really shouldn't let all that drama. You know, parents have baggage. The kids need to separate out. I actually don't want to see that play out on the show. It's kind of gross. Bravo. I really don't. So please leave the cousins maybe not talking to each other or bashing each other because of their parents' drama, them sticking up for their parents. It's gross. It's not fun to watch. And I don't want to see it because I actually don't want it to really happen that the kids, you know, hurt each other. Then on social media and on the show, you know, everybody trying to be the better person. It's bullshit. It's not Italian, and you guys better stop it. All right, so Fessler tells Margaret also to calm down, that she's like acting like an idiot on television, basically, and that she should, you know, she's not behaving like her real self. And so she doesn't like seeing this Margaret, which is this reality show Margaret that we all see. And I think she's trying to show there's another side to Marge. Anyway, the fans aren't really enjoying that. Just like the fans aren't enjoying Teresa becoming nonviolent. So Melissa Gorga goes on to tease and she says that she and Jacqueline are no longer friends, but she has no idea why. Not on the show, not off the show. She just doesn't know.
Do you worry that where your relationship stands with Teresa, it's going to affect your place on the show?
It possibly could. Of course it could. But I think they can get to a point where they say, I don't know how we're going to put these two in a room anymore. Or they're going to put us in a room and say, don't speak to each other. We don't care. Right. I mean, of course. Yeah. But I don't really think I have to get through the reunion first. And I think that's the way the producers are thinking as well right now. And executives, they want to get through the reunion.
Here's what Melissa said about the leaked text messages that, you know, I've shown them on previous New Jersey recaps. You know, if you want to go see those, you could go back. I think probably the first or second episode recap. Those are on if you want to check them out.
Responsible for leaking those text messages?
Teresa and Louis, they gave them to a website that she talks to on the phone. She's been on the phone with this one website since 2012. She talks to them constantly.
I know who it is.
They're anti-Melissa. They bash me all day long. So,
Real Housewives?
I think so, yeah. She's been on the phone with her for years. So it's basically Teresa's story. It's basically Teresa tweeting. It's basically Teresa talking. It's always
Melissa then explains that she didn't go to Teresa's 50th birthday because she was trying to be authentic to where their relationship really was standing. And she didn't want to pretend that they were tight at this birthday when they weren't.
We're not doing this for the show. We're doing this in real life, whether the show's running or not. We're not going to suddenly show up to your 50th birthday on an island with 5 of your closest friends when you just said you're not close to me, you don't even want me in the wedding. It makes zero sense. We know that there's an ulterior motive there, and it's fine. I'm not even nailing her to the cross for it. I'm just like, I'm not coming. When Teresa went to jail for the first 6 months, she did not speak to me or her brother. She didn't write to us. She refused to put Joe on the list. He called her the morning she was leaving, and she basically hung up on him and said, "You're the reason I'm going to jail." Facts. He was insulted. 6 months, no contact. She wanted to start using my attorney because she thought I was doing well. She reached out. My attorney called me 6 months in and said to me, "Are you okay with me starting to work with Teresa? Because I really am a criminal attorney, even though I'm doing some entertainment stuff." And I said, "You know what? I never want to hold you back from, this is a high profile case. It's my sister-in-law. If she needs you, do it. Go ahead, Jim, do it." So I then started to share my attorney with her. And at that point, he started talking sense into her, I guess. And the Teresa Checks In show was being pitched and being brought up. It was going to be in the making. It was for Joe Giudice and the girls. She then, at that point, 6 months later, her brother on the list because he needed to come visit her on Teresa Checks In.
Did he get paid?
Of course, we all got paid, but no one got paid like Teresa got paid. We got your
Day rate.
appearance fee, of course.
Yeah, right.
But
right.
but my point of that is,
2,500.
He would have seen her the first day. She wouldn't put him on the list. The only reason she put him on the list was because it was going to benefit her. He was going to come see her on the show, and she was then going to get paid for him coming to see it. So everything you guys hear is always twisting the narrative, and I'm really getting sick of it. So I need to correct it because that's not the truth. And the truth is, the second she put him on the list, he came to visit her. She started working with my attorney, who was softening things and making her see the light that she went to jail for all the, for certain reasons that have nothing to do with anybody but herself and her husband. Right? Then she loosened up a little bit. Kids. So that really was from it started I want to say in July. And I went to my photos from 2015. That's the whole year she was away. I have a ton of photos at ice cream with the girls on my boat. From the second she allowed me to have them, the whole entire summer, they were at my home. So it's just all bullshit. It's a fake narrative. It's always twisting and turning because it's easy to use that as a crutch to say that we're opportunists because she was on the show first. And it's bullshit.
Melissa is saying that she's been there for her nieces and that this is, what's being alleged by the nieces is not true. And they're just helping further a storyline that Teresa wants to get out there with her press and the like. So I'll leave that with you in regards to what you think. Melissa believes that Louis Ruelas' ex-girlfriends were right and that any day now he's going to turn into a monster. We just have to give it some time. I'm paraphrasing. Melissa said something very surprising. Let me play it for you.
Sometimes I've had in the past 13 years seasons that have just bothered me so bad that my insides were just turning.
It's affecting your mental health.
It's affecting my mental health. It's affecting my marriage. It's affecting my children. Is that a season that you've had, or are you able to?
It's good to know all of the franchises are the same.
I think that it's not. No, I'm not like that, because if that was the case, then if I would have done something to someone and caused pain to someone like this, then I would be stressed. But it's happening. It didn't affect. And, I can't really say much more. But no, I'm not stressed out like that. I think it's more of a sad season. I think it's it's not even the season, what you're watching. It's the outside of the show shit that's going on that I'm like, we don't get paid for all of this extra. What is everyone doing? Sit down, enjoy your children, go to the.
Surprised me. You know why? Because Joe Gorga is super jealous of Melissa Gorga. So it couldn't have been great on their marriage for rumors that she was making out with a guy come out on national TV, even if it isn't true. You know what I mean? Something weird about that. Now they're trying to present a strong front, in other words, it's a blip. But we know Joe Gorga's psyche. Is it a blip? Or was he really impacted? And did Melissa have to do some serious damage control? I'd say she had to do serious damage control, but she's trying to save face. I'm doing the ABC. Like, subscribe, and share this video, and help me get to 25,000 subs.